Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone doing Jason, welcome back to the rundown. 10 minutes less buff for the TCG. Chaos Origins is finally here in legal, so I figured we should kick off our coverage with what is most certainly my favorite deck in the format. I gotta take one of my all-time favorite Yu-Gi-Oh decks and put in a brand new power engine. So, without further ado, please let me introduce to you Clown Crew Chaos Ritual.
残酷な天使のように少年よ神話になれ Break it down!
That's right, today we're talking about Clown Crew once again. Although, unlike the previous Genesis and TCG lists I've shown you before, we have added in the brand new Chaos Ritual cards. And no, I'm not going to go by whatever weird acronym people are calling it. We have a word for light and darkness, and that's chaos. So when I was looking into Chaos Origins to figure out, like, what did I want to feature on the channel? What did I actually want to, like, play for myself? I was really looking into the Chaos Ritual cards. At their core, they're an engine that offers a lot of repeatable advantage and lets you play on a different access than the normal Yu-Gi-Oh deck. And if you know anything about me in this channel, decks that don't play like normal Yu-Gi-Oh decks are exactly what I love. Now, this is made even better because Chaos Ritual is expected to be one of the best decks of the Chaos Origins format. Then, as I was looking into the cards more and more, reading what they did, get familiar, I realized that there was a lot of synergies between it and Clown Crew. The engine loop of the deck, the kind of control-y aspect of Chaos Ritual, all revolves around this continuous trap called Mind Shuffle. And Mind Shuffle, you know, we're going to go over its exact text, but the basic idea is it can bounce your level 7 or higher monsters back to your hand to then special summon one of your Chaos Ritual guys. Now, you may realize at this point that Clown Crew Biancaviso is a level 7 or higher monster. Not only do we have that little synergy, there's a bunch more we can go over in detail, but we'll go over more of the little synergies as they pop up through the deck profile. So first off, we're on 3 copies of Clown Crew Flare, 2 Clown Crew Biancaviso, 3 of the brand new Griffo. Big effect, you can discard this card and activate one of these effects. The next battle or effect damage you take this turn will become 0. Set 1 quick play spell or trap that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual from your deck. It can be activated this turn. You only use this effect Griffo once per turn. If you summon exactly 1 level 8 ritual monster with a card effect that requires use of monsters, this card can be used as the entire tribute. So if we just find Griffo, whether it's through drawing it or opening it, at any point we can activate the effect to set up either our quick play or our continuous trap. Continuous trap being the entire combo. Next up we have 1 Celtic Mystic. If this card is normal or special summon, you can reveal your entire hand, and if you reveal the card that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual, you can draw 3 cards and discard 2. Also, as a turn, you can only special summon once from the extra deck. You can tribute this card, special 1 ritual monster that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual from your hand. You only each effect of Celtic Mystic once per turn. So we're on 1 Mystic because it's not really a starter. It conflicts with our normal summon, which usually we want to be Biancaviso, and it does lock us out of summoning from the extra deck. Yes, we get 1 singular summon, but if we're doing Clown Crew combo, we would like to have multiple. In the average Chaos Ritual line, you'll basically have both the ritual monsters in rotation, and then you have a free search later, which you would then search Mystic, summon Mystic on the opponent's turn after you've already done any special summoning through, let's say, Soiree Operations or a Malabarisme, get the draws, discard some cards, and surely you'll find 1 piece of non-engine or 2. Now we got 1 Skull Archfiend of Chaos. If this card's in your hand or graveyard, you can target 3 other cards in the graveyards and or face-up banishment, including a card that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual. Place them on the bottom of the deck in any order, and if you do special summon this card, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 ritual spell from your hand or deck to the graveyard, add 1 ritual monster whose name is mentioned on that card from your deck to your hand. You can use each effect of Skull Archfiend Chaos once per turn. So Skull Archfiend is probably one of the best cards printed period in Yu-Gi-Oh! If you don't really understand what this effect does. When this guy is sent to the grave, he will then send any ritual card to then add any monster the ritual card mentions. That's not exclusive to the Chaos Ritual stuff. That is quite literally any ritual monster and card. Here in Chaos, this is how we are going to be adding both our BLS and Magician of Black Chaos ritual monsters. This effect, of course, being able to be used on both our turn and the opponent's turn, makes sure we always have these guys in rotation. Rounding out the Chaos Ritual monsters, we have 3 copies of Black Chaos. Cannot be normal summon / set. Must be special summon from your hand by shuffling one spellcaster or warrior ritual monster from your hand or graveyard into the deck. You can only special summon Black Chaos once per turn this way. You can discard this card, place one continuous shot dimensions, Light Darkness ritual from your deck or graveyard, face up on your field. While you have a ritual spell in your graveyard, this card is unaffected by your opponent's activate effects. Once per turn during your main phase, you can banish 2 cards your opponent controls. So Black Chaos is a starter, yes. He's also a towers, and he also non-targeting banishes 2 cards the opponent controls as an ignition effect. This guy is an absolute house. Also, I should mention the effect to place a continuous card that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual face up on your field is not once per turn. And finally, we have our ritual monsters, the big bosses of Chaos Ritual. First up, Magician of Dark Chaos Black Chaos. You can ritual summon this card with Light and Darkness Ritual, unaffected by your opponent's activated effects unless they target this card. Also, spell traps you control cannot be destroyed or banished by your opponent's card effects. You can only use each effect of the following effects: Magician of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos, once per turn. If this card is special, you can add 1 spell card from your graveyard to your hand. You can target 1 card your opponent controls, banish it face down. So, both our ritual monsters have the kind of towers-like effect that Underworld Goddess of the Closed World has, where they're unaffected by anything that does not target them. So you can see the flavor of Magician of Dark Chaos in relation to the original, like, Demok, right? It has the effect to add back any spell card, but of course, our new Magician of Dark Chaos is even better. It is another card that can, as an ignition effect, banish a card the opponent controls. As well, it gives protection to all your back row while he's face up on the board. Last but not least, for our Chaos Ritual guys, we have Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Light and Darkness. You can ritual summon this card with Light and Darkness Ritual, unaffected by your opponent's activate effects unless they target this card. Also, cannot be destroyed by battle. You can only use each of the following effects of Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Light and Darkness once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, banish it. When this card destroys opponent's monster by battle, you can make this card gain 1500 attack, and if you do, it can make a second attack in a row. So it has that, like, BLS Link and Envoy effect of being able to attack twice. This is one of the main forms of interaction that Chaos Ritual has. Being able to, as a quick effect, summon this guy in response to the opponent activating any effects and just banish a card they control. And like I said, it also has the towers-like effect and has the added bonus of not being able to be outed by battle. And then we have our non-engine monsters: 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Perulia, 3 copies of Vidralis Harmonia, and 1 Magnamut. Magnamut is here to search the Vidralis Harmonia. And Vidralis Harmonia, I should mention, is a level 7 monster, which means we can bounce it to the hand with Mind Shuffle. Alright, now our spell traps, we have 3 copies of Ragged Records of Rites. Reveal 1 ritual spell from your hand or deck, and if you do, add 1 monster from your deck to your hand that mentions the spell's name. If a face of ritual monsters you control leaves the field by card effect while the card is in your graveyard, and you do not control any face of monsters other than ritual monsters, except during the damage step, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use each effect of Ragged Records of Rites once per turn. This card is absolutely insane. While this doesn't do anything for the Clown Crew cards, notably, this, despite being able to ritual summon, is not a ritual card. This basically means we can search any card in our deck that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual. And as I just read to you, all of these cards, in fact, mention Light and Darkness Ritual. Anyway, now we can finally read the namesake of the deck, Light and Darkness Ritual. We're on 1 copy. This card can be used to ritual summon Magician of Dark Chaos, Black Chaos, or Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Light and Darkness. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field, and or banish monsters from your graveyard whose total levels equal or exceed this level. Cards in your graveyard, you can add this card and 1 card that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use this effect of Light and Darkness Ritual once per turn. So once again, not only is this very powerful for a ritual card, mentioning both our big guys, also has the effect to recycle any of the cards in the archetype as long as it is mentioned on them. Next up, we have 1 copy of Chaos Magical Hats. Card too funny for me not to include. When your opponent activates a monster effect or normal spell trap card, choose 3 spell traps with different names from your deck and 1 monster in your main monster zone that mentions Light and Darkness Ritual. Special summon the spell traps as normal monster spellcaster Dark level 8, 0/0 in face down defensive position. Their names become Chaos Magical Hats even while face down. Set the chosen monster if it is face up, and then shuffle them on the field. Then your opponent's active effect becomes destroy 1 monster your opponent controls in face down defensive position. So this card is essentially a negate. It says, okay, you actually activate the effect to destroy a card. Now, what cards would we like to destroy? Well, this allows us, if somehow we did not get them in rotation, summon as monsters the Clown Crew traps. If the traps are destroyed, their effect can be activated right away. If Soiree is online, we could then immediately tribute summon if we have the materials. To finish off the spells, we have 3 Rehearsal, 1 Malabarisme, and 1 Matinee Operatics. Last but not least, we have our trap cards. We have one copy of Clown Crew Finale, a brand new card that I definitely did not forget about when I talked about this deck the other week. If you control Tribute-Sun monster, discard any number of cards, then target that many face-up cards in the field, destroy them. You can banish this card from your graveyard and tribute one Ritual Fusion, Synchro Xyz, Pendulum, or Link monster from your hand or field. Add one Clown Crew monster with different ritual level, rank, link rating from your deck or graveyard to your hand. You can use each effect of Clown Crew Finale once per turn. So if we're just filling up our hands with a bunch of cards, thanks to Matinee and Bianca Viso, we can send them off, as long as we of course control Bianca Viso, destroy that many face-up cards, and when that's all done, we can tribute to then search genuinely a great card and a much appreciated addition to Clown Crew. Then we got one Soiree Operations, and last but not least, we have one copy of Mind Shuffle. I've been kind of teasing with what this card actually does the entire time, so let's read it. During either player's turn, you can add one monster that mentions Light and Dark Ritual from your deck to your hand, then discard one card. You can only use this effect of Mind Shuffle once per turn. When your opponent activates card or effect, you can return one level 7 or higher monster you control to the hand, or summon one monster that mentions Light and Dark Ritual from your hand with a different name than the returned monster, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can activate these effects of Mind Shuffle in the same chain. So, if you can tell from the search effect, it adds and then discards. And if you can think of a card we'd like to discard, maybe this Skull Archfiend of Chaos, this basically means as long as we have this guy in our hand, we can search anything, such as Celtic Mystic, Griffo, discard the Archfiend of Chaos, and then Archfiend of Chaos will trigger to send Light and Dark Ritual from hand or deck to graveyard to then search again for one of our Chaos Ritual guys. This is the real power loop of the deck, being able to essentially search any of our cards for almost no cost. Now, I should also, of course, mention the effect to bounce a monster from field to hand is not once per turn. This is the powerful control loop, being able to bounce between the Chaos Ritual guys and Bianca Viso and Vidralis Harmonia. Alright, that's the main deck. Let's talk extra deck. For our links, we are on one Linkaribo and one of the brand new Clown Crew Dristy. Material: 2 Ritual Fusion Synchro Xyz and or Pendulum monsters. This might surprise you, we're probably not going to summon it with that. Your Tribute-Sun monsters can make a second attack during each battle phase. This card distributed, you can activate one of these effects. You can only use each effect of Clown Crew Dristy once per turn. Return all Link monsters from the field and or graveyards to the extra deck. Each player with a hand shuffles their entire hand into the deck, then draws the same number of cards they shuffled into the deck. Why, yes, you can in fact reincarnation loop your opponent if you so choose. You'll notice I'm not playing Droll in this deck. I just didn't want to do that, and I feel like I'd be too tempted if I had Droll. But yes, Dristy is also a very important card for Clown Group. We can finally out Link boards. Before, that was pretty much the only type of monster we could not bounce. Alright, to finish off our extra, we're on 2 Clown Crew Fiends, 2 Clown Crew Diablo, and 2 Clown Crew Meteor, the standard for Clown Crew extras. And then finally we have the Vidralis targets, Malong, Packbit, Wind Pegasus, and Omega. Then you can also see we have Super Polys on the side, so we're playing 2 extra Super Poly targets and Sea Monster Theseus, just in case there's any cool tunes still running around, and Garura, Wings of Resonant Life. No Mudragon because Clown Crew Diablo is essentially Mudragon. Then, the last card in the extra deck, 1 Nerva the Power, Patron of Creation. This card is insane. Because we're playing a second engine in the Chaos Ritual cards, that adds a whole bunch of new types, meaning Nerva is even easier to summon than it was before, so we're not out of luck with the all Beast Warrior extra deck guys in Clown Crew. Now the sideboard, we're on 3 Fua, very standard, 3 Raw Sphere Mode, 3 Super Poly, 3 Forbidden Crown, and 3 Solemn Accusation. Anyway, I did a lot of yapping there, so why don't we just check out some games? Alright, here we are, game number 1, and our opponent is on Constellar. No, this isn't Genesis format. In fact, this is the format where they just get to turn skip without a meal. Anyway, we're going first. You can see we open Rehearsal, Finale, Black Chaos, Archfiend of Chaos, and Super Poly. This is a game 2 scenario. Alright, so we're going to lead with Black Chaos to get us Mind Shuffle. Then we'll be Mind Shuffling, which immediately gets Ghost Ogre. Okay, well, let's go ahead and tribute the Skull Archfiend for our Clown Crew Rehearsal, adding Malabarisme and Bianca Viso. That then triggers the Archfiend to add us the Black Chaos. From here, we'll go Malabarisme, summon 2, and then tribute summon Bianca Viso. Bianca Viso 1, and our 2 extra deck guys in chain, which Bianca Viso gets impermed, which we don't really care about. Alright, set 2 for Matinee and Finale. I'm sorry, Soiree. Summon out Clown Crew Flare. Jesus Christ, I've been calling him Crown Crew for a while now. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and add back our copy of Black Chaos with the Graveyard Affecting Light Darkness Ritual, which I did mention is not once per turn to set Mind Shuffle. So we'll reset the Mind Shuffle and then Ritual Summon Black Chaos. This time we'll have the ability to bounce him if he gets negated. Alright, let's add back the Ritual spell, set ourselves Finale, link off for Linkaribo, draw some cards, see if we find anything better than Super Poly. We did not, so we'll go ahead and set the Super Poly. In draw, we'll go Soiree to add ourselves another copy of Bianca Viso. And then Mind Shuffle to add us the BLS Ritual, pitching the Ritual spell, which we do not need. Griffo effect to then set Chaos Magical Hats from deck. They lead Doo-Doo Warrior, sending Anomato Kage. I guess we just need guys. Well, let's go ahead and use our BLS to banish it. Then a normal summon consider caster, summoning out from the deck Signian. Signian effect, which we will then change with Chaos Magical Hats. Unfortunately, we do have our traps in rotation, so we'll just go ahead and bring other things. They go ahead and pop the Super Poly, and then we'll trigger Bianca Viso effect, trying to get these guys off board. They chain Droplet, but they didn't set a trap, so we're able to activate Mind Shuffle in response. Summoning out our Black Chaos, who is unaffected because Droplet does not target, and then resolving our Tribute Summon, tributing over Linkaribo to then activate the Bianca Viso effect, which would have let us do more, draw cards, and of course Black Chaos to add back, and they already scooped while I was just trying to explain to you what was happening on that turn. Alright, here we are game number 2, and our opponent is on Phantom Knights. We're going through the new card Gauntlet. Phantom Knights also getting new support in Chaos Origins. You can see we're going first again, opening Bianca Viso, 2 copies of Flare, 1 Griffo, and the BLS Ritual. Alright, well, in draw phase, we'll go ahead and activate Griffo to set Mind Shuffle, then activate the Mind Shuffle effect immediately. It gets ashed, which isn't too bad considering what the rest of our hand looks like. Alright, let's go Flare. Adding Rehearsal and pitching the Flare. Rehearsal effect, tributing Flare. We had Bianca Viso and Malabarisme. We accidentally triggered Flare there, so 07, there goes our Flares. Anyway, Malabarisme summons 2, and wouldn't you know, it's those 2 guys. We then tribute them off and activate their effects in sequence after the Bianca Viso draw. We're going to go ahead and set Matinee and Soiree once again, drawing 2 cards, and wouldn't you know, we drew Black Chaos and Finale. Let's go Matinee to special the Meteor from deck, drawing 2 cards in end phase, and hey, there's the guy we were trying to search a second ago. So we have Finale, Soiree, Matinee, and we just drew Chaos Magical Hats. Let's go ahead and set that off the Matinee effect and pass. Now, this board doesn't look too scary. Yes, there are some unknown sets here, but it's what's in the hand that is really powerful. Alright, we'll go Mind Shuffle, adding the Celtic Mystic, pitching the Scholarship and Chaos, pitching the Light and Darkness Ritual, which we never got in rotation, from deck to graveyard. Alright, let's now go Soiree, summoning 2 guys, the Fiends and the Flare. Now they reveal the new Phantom Knights of Decayed Cloak, revealing that the Phantom Knight summoning itself, activating its effect to add another guy. They add Ancient Cloak, and then normal summon that Ancient Cloak. We'll just go Finale to keep them off the bodies, which they chain Droplet, negating our Bianca Viso, Meteor, and Fiends. Not exactly the highest value negates aside from Bianca Viso, but okay, sure. They'll then activate the Ancient Cloak effect engraved, banishing it to add the other new guy whose name I just missed. There he is. Doomed Soiree. We go Chain, Mind Shuffle to summon BLS. BLS will then banish a card they control. We choose the set card, the new trap. Anyway, they overlay for Malevolent Scythe, but that is an ignition effect. So once we tribute our Flare, we're able to Book of Moonlight before they can activate the effect. They then banish Fogblade, targeting to summon another guy, which we will then chain our Magnemite. And that's enough for them as they scoop it up. Alright, here we are, game number 3, and our opponent is on Sacred Beasts. While Sacred Beasts I think is probably my favorite deck in Genesis, the TCG version I'm not so happy about. If you haven't seen it, Sacred Beasts is a deck that aims to end on Colossus and a bunch of Omni Negates. Something that I'm just not too happy with. Anyway, we're going first once again. We have Magnemite, Ragged Records of Rights, Rehearsal, Matinee Opera Acts, and Clown Crew Flare. Alright, we're going to go ahead in main phase. Activate the Rehearsal, attributing our Flare to add Malabarisme and Bianca Viso. then activating Malbrisme, summoning 2 guys, contributing for Biancaviso, and using Meteor effect, because we summon Meteor this turn, to add Flare back to our hand. We're just trying to play around Droll the best. We draw Ash and Celtic Mystic. Amazing. We'll go Flare effect, add Finale, pitch herself, Ragged Records to then go for Griffo, as we've seen our opponent does not have Droll. We activate Griffo, which then they reveal Psy-Frame Gear Gamma, summoning, of course, Driver to negate the Griffo. Okay, well then, let's go. Matinee effect, summon a Flare from deck, set a card, link her off for Link Rebo, and pass. 2 traps is pretty good, especially when you draw Griffo off Matinee. So let's go Griffo for Mind Shuffle, activate the Mind Shuffle immediately, adding the Skull Archfiend Chaos, and we pitch him to then send the Line Dark Ritual we weren't able to get into rotation, adding our second ritual, which, by the way, we drew the Magician of Black Chaos off of the Matinee as well. We'll go Soiree, summon 2, Flare and Meteor, the best cards for us here. They reveal Card of the Soul, one of the funniest cards, to add Hamon. Hamon effect adds them Sacred Beast Released, which is just another Graceful Charity-like card. They then reveal new card, by the way, Farah, the Primordial Goddess, basically meaning we cannot ash that spell card. Alright. They will then fire the Sacred Beast Release, add 3, pitch 2, and then Farah triggers to excuse me, we chain Mind Shuffle to summon our Magician of Dark Chaos, because you might not know, Farah's effect, when she is sent, she can special herself from grave, and then she attempts to steal the monster you control with the highest attack. We bounce our Biancaviso, so that Magician of Dark Chaos, the guy who's unaffected, is now our highest attack monster. So this effect does not resolve. They reveal Summoner, pitching Uriah to summon Martyr. Martyr effect to try in place, where we bounce for Blackluster Soldier, to then on res banish their Sacred Beast Thunderclap. They go Anima, try to take our Flare. We'll chain Soiree to tribute summon Biancaviso, booking one of their guys. They're going to go ahead and go Raviel to add another Martyr and pitch this Summoner. We'll go ahead and just banish that right away with our Magnamut, activate Magnamut's effect to get us Withdrawals Harmonia later. They then normal summon Martyr, which we immediately tribute summon Biancaviso to negate it. They go SP Little Knight, try to banish our Mind Shuffle. We bounce, summon Celtic and Mystic here to draw 3, discard 2, and wow, all just bangers. They go for Typhon, we activate Finale, pitch a card, destroy the Typhon, and let's draw a bunch of cards in end phase. And oh, by the way, we're also adding Withdrawals Harmonia. Alright, let's just assemble lethal here. We'll go Skull Archfiend effect, shuffle a bunch of our stuff back, summon him out to the board, then activate one of the Griffos we drew to get Mind Shuffle back, because we did just shuffle that back. Mind Shuffle. Chain our Line Dark's Ritual to get our Ritual guy back to hand. Let's go ahead and Ritual summon the BLS. BLS will banish their set Farah, put everyone into attack, tribute the Celtic Guardian to summon the Dark Magician of Chaos, add another spell back, and now we swing in for game. Very solid game. A big strength of the Sacred Beast deck is being able to just gas through so much interaction, but we have so much layered interaction, we were able to gas back through their gas, if that makes sense. So we're back with deck, and hey, that's pretty good. Let's go over some strengths and weaknesses. First off, the strengths. Like I said in the profile, there is so much advantage recursion that it's kind of insane. We could go even further beyond if we wanted to add Clown Crew New Face, but I felt like that was just way too many trap cards in the deck. Our interaction is also so layered that it's kind of hard for decks to deal with. We don't just simply negate card effects, we replace them, or we just outright remove the cards from play. When we get to play the game, we also accrue so much advantage that it's hard for other people to keep up with us. And we can start gaining that advantage as soon as their turn 0. If we open a combination of a Griffo and Withdrawals, that means we can set up Mind Shuffle and also have it live for the very same turn. Not only that, like I mentioned in the card by card, Nerva has never been easier to summon. The consistency of Clown Crew has gone to a whole nother level but with all strengths come weaknesses. You ever hear this card called Droll and Lockbird? Yes, this deck is still very weak to Droll and Lockbird, in the same vein of being weak to Droll, both our decks here are really weak to Dimension Shift. Without Clown Crew New Face, we can't recur our Clown Crew cards that get banished, which is a strength that pure Clown Crew gets to utilize to play Shifter itself. We don't have that here. And while yes, Skull Archery and Chaos can recycle our banished things as long as we have a Light and Darkness card anywhere in Grave or Banished, if it's banished, we're kind of shit out of luck. As well, there are some soft garnets in this deck. Opening Mind Shuffle with no way of getting it on field and activated immediately really hurts the plays this deck can make. In branded Chaos Ritual or like the pure Chaos Ritual decks, they usually go for 2 Mind Shuffles to basically play around this specifically. But all in all, building this deck and playing this deck was a lot of fun. This is genuinely going to be the deck I play in advance if I'm going to be playing it at all. I genuinely love both the engines that we've been able to put together here to make one cohesive deck. I just really, really, really love this, so I hope you enjoyed it too. Speaking of enjoying it, if you enjoyed this video, I want you to go ahead and leave a comment below saying how much you loved it. And while you're down there, also let me know if there's any Chaos Origin decks you would like to see me feature on this series in the future. And, also, if you're already down there, if you're already down there, you can like the video and you can subscribe to the channel. And with that, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.